The story I read was Startling Stories Banner by Brian Azzarello and Richard Corben. So the story is kind of like a realistic version of the Marvel character Hulk, except he's based in the real world and without all the Marvel characters and settings. So the story starts off explaining like what happened and what people thought was caused by a natural disaster when it was actually the Hulk. So it kind of gives the backstory to what led up to all the events that happened throughout these pages. It shows the destruction that the Hulk is causing, and then it goes into the rest of the story. It starts off with some of, looks like military or like SWAT or some sort of military like that. They look like, in this page, they're explaining throughout the story what they think is going on and what they think caused it, and talking about the size of the destruction that was caused by the Hulk, but they weren't fully sure that it was caused by the Hulk yet. They thought it was some sort of natural disaster, like a tornado. That's what their main thought of cause was a giant tornado. Then they discover his pants that he got ripped out of, but they're still not fully sure what it was caused by. Then it goes into showing the character, Bruce, that was, is the Hulk, when he turns into the Hulk from his built-up anger and rage. And then it goes into him being on the streets without any clothes off, and he's asking for help, and then they take him to a place to get help and medical care, but no one knows yet like what's going on. Like, they don't know that it was him that caused it. No one's fully sure. They still think it's caused by some sort of natural disaster. And he's in the van with the rest of the people that need medical attention, and he's thinking to himself about how guilty he feels about causing it when he knows that it's not his fault. And then he's getting checked out, and then he starts to think deeper about it and goes into deeper thought about what was going on, and he realizes all the destruction that he caused without meaning to. And then here is when some of the doctors and stuff start asking him about like where he was when everything hit, and how like they're just glad that he's safe, still not knowing. Throughout the whole story, no one knows that he's the Hulk and that he was the one that caused it. So they just keep asking him questions, but the more that these people ask questions, the deeper into thought that he gets about the consequences that came along with what he did, still not meaning to do it. And then this is when, on this page, it explains what led up to him turning into the Hulk, what caused his anger, and how he, right here, it turns into the Hulk. And then this is all throughout, like, what the people in his flop house was doing. And then on here is when some of the doctors start to question like where he's going, but he just starts to zone out and not answer their questions. And then he walks off to a cliff, starts talking to the sky or himself, saying, "Forgive me for what I've done and what I'm about to do." And then he shoots himself, most likely because he doesn't want to have to keep living this life of being the Hulk and causing all this destruction to people, so he probably thinks it's just best to end it. And then that's the end of the story, and I think overall the story was very well written and very well thought out. I think that the author did a good job portraying the start and the end and the cause and effect and everything that went along with it. It's a very well written story and drawn out story. The graphics are very nice, and overall it's a very nice story.